The Comal Springs in New Braunfels are the largest springs in Texas and the American Southwest. 7 major springs and dozens of smaller ones break out over a distance of about 1 mile at the base of a steep limestone bluff in Landa Park. The largest and most easily visited of the springs is this one that's just west of Landa Park Drive, and there's another large opening just to the right of it. But only a small portion of total spring flow comes from these large openings. About 80% comes from many small springs and seeps that are underneath Landa Lake and around the shores. Just downstream from Landa Park, Clemens Dam is a good place to see the combined discharge of all the springs. On this day, the flow was about 200 million gallons. These waters are noted for their exceptional clarity, and it's hard to resist filling your bottle with a cool drink.
That's the best water around right there.
It's good. Tasted it?
Oh, yeah.
Most of the water that becomes Comal Spring flow originates with recharge far to the west of the springs. Water moves through major flow zones in Medina and Bexar counties on its way toward New Braunfels, so pumping and water use to the west of New Braunfels have major impacts on spring flows. The springs and the Comal River below are home for an endangered species, the fountain darter. During the drought of the 1950s, the darter was completely eliminated from the Comal River, and it was later restocked with individuals from the San Marcos River. The Spanish never established a permanent presence here, but Comal Springs were a favorite camping place for native Indian tribes for thousands of years. German settlers arriving in Texas in 1844 founded the city of New Braunfels, and legend says the first city council meeting was held under this tree near the springs, called the Founder's Oak. Joseph Landa purchased the Comal Springs site in 1860, and his pasture became a popular site for picnics and swimming. On the fringes of the pasture, a variety of water-powered mills and factories appeared, including a hydroelectric plant that produced power for over 60 years. In the early 1900s, several rail lines reached the area, and Landa's Park grew into one of the most popular resorts in the Southwest. The city purchased the site in 1936, and it has been a municipal park ever since. There's a million things to do here at Landa Park. This is the inlet to a large spring-fed swimming pool that always draws crowds in the summer. Or you can take a paddle boat out on Landa Lake, take a miniature train ride, check out what's left of a Civil War gunpowder factory, or just take it easy by the grill. Just below the springs, the Comal River has a long and legendary history as a tourist destination. A string of resorts operated on the river for most of the 20th century. 2 of these were Camp Ulbricht and Camp Giesecke, but the most famous was Camp Warnicke. It was one of the top family summer resort areas in South Texas for many decades, and in 1979 the Schlitterbahn Water Park was built on the site. Today, Schlitterbahn is consistently ranked as the best water park in America. Here at Clemens Dam, there was another legendary recreation spot that was called Stinky Falls. It got its name from a hot and smelly sulfur well that flowed nearby. All the hippies hung out here in the 60s and 70s, and the name Stinky Falls could just as easily have referred to all the weed. In those days, I witnessed a lot of dangerous diving from the old mill platform and lots of risky tubing through the dam's outlet. Today the site is owned by the city and has been made much safer by sidewalks and guardrails. The city built the New Braunfels tube chute next to the dam, adding yet another thing to the long list of water recreation attractions supported by Comal Springs. Even though these are large springs, history has shown us they will go dry during long droughts. But hopefully, with effective Edwards Aquifer management plans in place, we'll always have Comal Springs to cool off in during the hot Texas summers.